Hello, so in this video I'm going to talk through one thing that I picked up on marking A-level history exams this year. Last year I made a video giving 3 key tips after I'd marked A-level history exams, and they were focused on the regular essays. So I'll leave a link to that video in the description to this video. This time I wanted to talk about source questions, and I marked Edexcel paper 3 this year, which section A is a source question. So even if you don't do Edexcel, or if you're looking for guidance on source questions from another paper, hopefully this will be helpful. And one thing I wanted to talk about is just the importance of discussing provenance when you're answering source questions. I was quite struck by the fact that some students didn't talk about source provenance at all. Some did, but didn't really talk about it in depth. And something that really made the top level answers stand out was the ability for some students to talk about source provenance in a kind of detailed, developed way. And so just a couple of key tips really to give. Make sure that when you're writing your source answers, and it doesn't have to be in a particular place, it could be the first paragraph, it could be the last paragraph, it could even be integrated into other paragraphs. I've done a couple of other videos on source technique that I'll leave in the description as well. But make sure that you write about the provenance of the source. So what that means is make sure that you explicitly discuss the impact of what type of source it is, who made the source, when it was made, and perhaps most importantly, why it was made. So make sure you're kind of asking yourself those questions, and then to extend it, what is the impact of those things on the value of the source for the specific inquiry? Okay, so think about who made the source and what does that do to the value of the source for the specific inquiry that I'm answering. Why was the source made? When was it made? A couple of other ones that you can think about are, who is the intended audience? Who is this source aimed at? It could be, for example, aimed at an international audience or a domestic audience or a particular group in society that impacts on its value for what you're discussing. So audience is another one. And also tone. What's the tone of the piece? Is it sympathetic? Is it frustrated? Is it celebratory? Is it secretive? What's the tone? Is it official? What's the tone of the piece? That's something else I think that can come in really helpful. So that's a real key takeaway for me marking A-level history exams this year, the importance of discussing provenance when answering source questions. So have a look at my other videos on source technique, and I hope they'll be useful. Any questions at all, please leave a comment below. Thanks so much for listening.